Hello there and welcome to our evening lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to introduce a new chapter which is measurement. This chapter on measurement, I know you've covered it in other years, but we are going to relook at it. We are going first of all to start some revision on it, like on conversion of units of measurements. Then we can proceed on with other calculations. Now, when we look at measurements, this is an area where we have a very wide application. For example, when we talk about constructions, plans of houses are expressed in centimeters and millimeters. But when it comes to the actual construction, those distances should be converted to meters. That is when we are transferring the plan of a house from paperwork to the real ground. And even when we look at the materials that are used in construction, like timber, when you are ordering as an architect, you need to order timber in meters. These are called linear meters, and you are supposed to give the actual measurements so that you don't jeopardize the cost of constructing any structure. So to start, let us look at converting length measurements. Conversion of units of length. Basically, this refers to the conversion of units of length. And when we are talking about the units of length, we have several units of length ranging from those largest to the smallest ones. I'm talking about the kilometer. From the kilometer down below a kilometer, we have meters. Below this, we can have centimeters. And below the centimeter, we can have millimeters. And even we can have micro millimeters. And even above the kilometer, we can have the mega kilometer, and we can also have the tetrakilometer, those very large ones. And we have other special units like miles. They are also there. So we want to know, how do you maneuver from a kilometer to meters, and from meters to centimeters, and from centimeters to millimeters? This is what we want to look at. So let us start by looking at a kilometer is equivalent to how many meters? 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. And how many meters make up a centimeter? 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. Downwards, how many centimeters make up a millimeter? How many a centimeter, single centimeter is equivalent to how many millimeters? This we will talk of 1 centimeter being equivalent to 10 millimeters. And this can continue to 1 millimeter 1 millimeter being equal to 100 micromillimeters. But we can stop here for now. These are the most common units. These are the most common units of measurement. We can stop here so that we can try to maneuver through them and see how do we convert from one to another. So from this we can also have a diagrammatic flow where we can get conversions from a kilometer. That when you want to convert from a kilometer through meters, through centimeters, and to millimeters, this flow chart will help you to understand this. That if you want to convert from kilometer to meters, you basically multiply the given kilometers by 1,000. If you multiply the given kilometers, because we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. So if you are given 2 kilometers, you want to convert to meters, we automatically know that those are 2,000 meters. So you basically multiply 2 by that to get 2,000. Then when you want to convert from meter to centimeter, we know that 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. So conversion from meters to centimeters, it means we are going to multiply by 100. Then from this to millimeters, from centimeters to millimeters, we are going to multiply by 10, because 10 millimeters make a centimeter. Converting from centimeter to millimeter, we multiply by 10 to get the millimeter. The reverse can also be true. It can also hold, because sometimes you can be given these small units, then you are told to convert to the equivalent larger units. So how do we move from one to another? If you are given units in millimeters and you're tasked to convert the same into centimeters, since we know that 10 millimeters is equal to a centimeter, if you are given millimeters, you want to go to centimeters, you divide the value given in millimeters, you divide that value by 10. You divide that value by 10 millimeters to get centimeters. And since we know that 100 centimeters make up 1 meter, and we have centimeters, and we intend to move to meters, to convert to meters, we divide the value given by 100 to obtain our equivalent in meters. And the same can be done when we are converting from meters to kilometers, where we divide by 1,000. So when you take the upper root, it is all about multiplication. This is multiplication by 10 raised to power 3, 10 raised to power 2, and 10 raised to power 1, while the upper root, it is division by 10 raised to power 1, 10 raised to power 2, 10 raised to power 3. This flowchart is very salient when it comes to conversion of units. More specifically, converting through these 4 types of units of length. Let us look at examples and how such a diagram will help us. Let us have this diagram here. So this we said is multiplication by 1,000, multiplication by 100, and multiplication by 10. This is division by 10, this is division by 100, and this is division by 1,000. Let us see how we are going to apply the same. Examples. One, Convert these length measurements to the units shown in brackets. To units shown in brackets. Part A, we convert 8.2 kilometers to, we convert it to meters. We convert this to meters. When we move to this flowchart of ours, we have learned that if you are moving from kilometers to meters, you multiply by 1,000. You simply multiply kilometers given by 1,000. Or you can start by saying that 1 kilometer is equivalent to 1,000 meters. What about 8.2? What about 8.2 kilometers? This will be equal to 8.2 kilometers multiplied by 1,000 meters divided by 1 kilometer. These units and this one will cancel, and this will give us 8.2 times 1,000 meters. And this ultimately will give us 8,200 meters. We have converted from 8.2 kilometers to 8,200 meters. If we were to use our flow chart, we will basically take 8.2 times 1,000, and there we have 8,200 kilometers. The second example, we are tasked to convert 45 millimeters to centimeters. 45 millimeters to centimeters. We can use the usual way, the common one, where we say that how many millimeters make a centimeter? We know that 10 millimeters is equivalent to 1 centimeter. What about 45 millimeters? This will be equal to 45 millimeters multiplied by 1 centimeter divided by 10 millimeters. Millimeter and millimeter cancels. This will give us 4.5 centimeters. Or alternatively, we can decide to take, we are at millimeters. This is millimeters. We are there. We want to move to centimeters. We take the lower route, where we will be dividing the millimeters given by 10 to get centimeters. The millimeters given is 45 millimeters. We divide this by 10 millimeters, and this will give us 4.5 centimeters. So it is either you use this method or the flowchart method, or that method that we have there. And is it possible that we can be given some units, very small units, and we are told to convert to larger ones? Let us see this part C, where we have been given something like, let us say 10 millimeters, and we have been tasked to convert this to kilometers. You convert 10 millimeters to kilometers. Remember, we are at the millimeter point. We want to move to kilometer. So that means whatever we are given, we are going to divide by 10 to centimeter. Then we divide by 100 to meter. Then we can divide the results that we have with 1,000 to get kilometers. That is one route. Or we can go through another route by asking ourselves, how many millimeters make up a kilometer? How many millimeters make up a kilometer? We know that a kilometer, 1 kilometer, is the same as 1,000 meters. Can we convert this 1,000 meters to centimeters? And ultimately, we convert the centimeters to millimeters. Yes, it is possible. This can be the same as how many centimeters? We are at meters, we want to move to centimeters, we multiply by 100. This will be the same as 100,000 centimeters. And if we are at the centimeter point, are we able to move to the millimeter? Yes, this is the same as 1 million. 1 million millimeters is equivalent to a kilometer. So if we are saying that 1 million, a million millimeters being equal to 1 kilometer, this number 10 millimeters will be equal to how many kilometers? This will be equal to 10 millimeters multiplied by 1 kilometer and divide this by 1 million. By a million. And when you do that, you are going to get a decimal number. We are going to get a decimal number. This is the same as this 0, and this one cancels. And this millimeter and millimeter will cancel. So we will have 10 millimeters to be equal to 0 point. Remember, when we are dividing by a number made up of zeros, we move the decimal point several places to the left. So this is the same as 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kilometers. And it is good that such small numbers are expressed in standard form. I hope and I know that you have learned somewhere on how to write numbers in standard form. So big numbers or too small numbers, it is not good to write them the way they are. It is advisable that you write the numbers in standard form so that it doesn't appear so long. That is the standard procedure. So this is the same as 1.0 times 10 raised to power. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be negative 5 kilometers. This is in standard form. It is more presentable. Let us continue by looking at other examples. Continue by looking at some more examples on conversion of units. Write the following. Write the following missing numbers in these sentences. The following missing numbers in the sentences. In the sentences below. Part A, we have there are dash meters in a kilometer. There are dash meters in 1 kilometer. B, there are dash millimeters in a centimeter. Roman C, or part C, there are dash centimeters in 1 meter. There are dash centimeters in 1 meter. 1 meter. We have already looked at this, and we have said that there are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. We have also said that we have 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter, and we have 100 centimeters in 1 meter. These are simple things that we have already looked at. And in fact, when you want to do that, you can have something like this. 1 kilometer is equivalent to, we know that it is equivalent to 1,000 meters. And here we can have 1 centimeter being equivalent to 10 millimeters. And lastly, at this, we can have 1 meter being equivalent to 100 centimeters. These diagrams can help you to understand the concept much better, the concept that we are talking about. So in summary, we are saying that when we are converting, if we are converting to a smaller unit, we multiply. If we are converting to a smaller unit, we multiply. Otherwise divide. Where otherwise means if you are converting now from a smaller unit to a larger unit, you need to divide. This is a very important point that we should always remember. Having looked at this, I want us also to try and look at converting other units. These are units that we are familiar with. As much as we are calling them other units, they are actually units that we have come across them in our day-to-day lives. Converting other units. Before we convert from one unit to another, I would like to take this opportunity to let us have this table. We need to have a table here. This table is very important. It is a table that gives us the prefixes, their symbols, and the factors of 10 together with the standard form of the same. So we can have a table where we have the prefixes. we have the prefixes, we have the simple, we have the factors of 10, and we can have the standard form of the same. Standard form of the same. And lastly, we can have the names. We can call it the names or the actual names. These prefixes, we have a prefix like tera. Let us underline this. We have such as a tera. Tera, the prefix tera, it is symbolized by the letter T, and the factors of 10, tera, it means a trillion, from the word T, trillion, tera, trillion. So the factors of 10 is a trillion with 12 zeros. With 12 zeros. So if you want to write this in standard form, this will be 1.0 times 10 raised to the number of zeros that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This will be raised to 12. And this is the same as 1 trillion. That is the same as 1 trillion. Another one is Giga. Giga. Giga, the symbol for Giga is capital G. And from a trillion, we are moving downwards. A trillion is the largest. So a giga is basically a billion. And this is the same as 10 raised to power 9. This is 1 billion. The next one is what we call mega. The symbol for that is capital M, and mega simply means a million with 6 zeros. This is the same as 10 raised to power 6. This is 1 million. The next one is a kilo. Kilo symbolized by K, and this is 1,000. 3 zeros, it is the same as 10 raised to power 3, and this is 1 kilogram. It is 1,000. This is 1,000. Kilo means 1,000. When we add on grams, we move to units of 1,000. We will be moving to units of mass. And we also have a hector. Hector symbolized by small letter h, which means 100, which is 10 raised to power 2, and this stands for 100. 100. The next on the line is deca. Deca denoted by the symbol D, which means 10, which is 10 raised to power 1, and it is 10. This is 10. It is 10. So after moving from the largest units, we can cross over to the smallest ones, the decimal numbers. These are large numbers, but we can move to those ones, tenths, hundreds, thousandths, to even smaller denominations. So we can have this line here to indicate that we are moving from, let us have double. This shows that we are through with those large values. We want now to move to smaller ones, to minor values. We can have, this one does not start with ones, it starts with deci. Take note of that. Deci, it is denoted by the letter D, and this means 0.1. This is expressed as 10 raised to power negative 1, and it is 1/10. This is 1/10. The next one is centi. Centi is denoted by C, which is 0.01. This is 10 raised to power negative 2, and it symbolizes 1/100th. Next is Mili. Mili is different from mega. This one is denoted by small letter m. It is different from mega. This is capital M. This is capital M, and this is small letter m. And Mili stands for 0.001, which is 10 raised to power negative 3, and this is 1,000th. Thousandths. 1,000th. Next is micro, denoted by the symbol mu. This symbol mu denotes micro. Micro is different, is actually different from this units on the upper side. It is noted by this micro. This symbol denotes micro, and this is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. The same as 0.12345 6. 0.000001, and this is equivalent to, in standard form, it is equivalent to 10 raised to power negative 6, and this is called 1 millionth. 1 millionth. Imefika chini sana. 1 millionth. And lastly, on the list, we have nano. Nano, which is denoted by this symbol here. This one denotes nano. And nano is the same as 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which is the same as 10 raised to power negative 9, and this is called a billionth. 1 billionth. 1 billionth. So we can continue up to the level of tera, but this is the largest. In fact, when a number is expressed, a value, something, a quantity given the value 0 point, all these zeros, or given the value 10 raised to power 9, it is a very small unit. A very small unit that when you wrote it literally like this, it loses meaning. It is undesirable. So the need for us to write it in standard form so that it is presentable. This is the scientific standard form of writing small and big numbers. If they are so big like a trillion, you write it as 10 raised to power 12. And if it is so small as a billionth, you can be able to write it as 10 raised to power negative 12, negative 9. So before we look at converting to other units of length, I wanted us to be conversant with this so that we can apply the same. If we meet these terms, tera, giga, mega, kilo, hector, deca or deci, centi, milli, micro or nano, we can be able to handle such values accordingly. So as we convert to other units, let us look at examples. Let us look at examples. 1, we are told to convert the following 3 minutes to microseconds. We convert 3 minutes to microseconds. To microseconds. Three minutes to microseconds. How do we do that? We start by looking at our 1 minute. 1 minute is equal to how many seconds? These are units of time. And all of us know that a minute is equal to 60 seconds. A minute is equal to 60 seconds. And this means that if we are talking about 3 minutes, 3 minutes will be equal to 60 times 3 seconds. This will be 180 seconds. Now, we want to bring in the idea of microseconds. We want to bring in the idea of microseconds. 1 minute is equivalent to how many microseconds? We know that 1 minute, 1 second, not 1 minute. 1 second is equal to how many microseconds? 1 second is equal to, micro means 1 million. This is the same as 1 million 1 million microseconds. Micro means 1 million, so this will be the same as 1 million microseconds. If 1 second is equal to 1 million microseconds, what about 180 seconds? This will be equal to 180 multiplied by a million. And when we are talking about a million, is basically 10 raised to power 6. You can remember that from the previous table that we've just had. And when we do that, this is the same as, this one can also be expressed in standard form, 180. This is 1.8 multiplied by 10 raised to power 2. Then we multiply by 1 million. And from the laws of indices, if you are multiplying two numbers with the same base, you simply add the powers. This will be 1.8 multiplied by 10 raised to power 8. Raised to power 8 microseconds. So we said the symbol for micro is that. So microseconds will be denoted by that. So we have converted our 3 minutes to microseconds. Our 3 minutes are equal to, our 3 minutes will be equal to 1.8 times 10 raised to power 8 microseconds. Let us look at one more example. Let's look at one more example. In example number 2, we convert $4 trillion. Example number 2, we convert this figure milligrams to tera, to tons, to tons, to tons. We convert this to tons. Tons, which is denoted by T, to tons. This is actually giga. It is in terms of gigagrams. This is in terms of giga milligrams. Giga milligrams. We want to convert from 4 giga milligrams to tons, What do? We need to know what mg means. Mg means milligrams it means milligrams, and this milligrams, and we know that 1000 milligrams are usually equal to 1 gram. 1000 milligrams are usually equal to 1 gram. 1 gram. So from this point we can be able to convert to the rest. So if 1000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram, and we also know that 1000 grams are equivalent to 1 kilogram, is equivalent to 1 kilogram. So how many milligrams will be able to make a kg? We need to convert that. And also from this we know that 1000 kgs is equal to 1 ton. 1000 kgs is equal to 1 ton. So we need to move from this to this point. Let us start reducing this value. 1, 2, 3. This is milligrams. How many grams will this be? We need to convert this to grams. How many grams will this be? We divide this figure by 1000, because we know that 1000 milligrams is equal to 1 gram. So this number of milligrams will be this divided by 1000 to get the number of grams. If we divide this by 1000, we are going to get grams. These are the number of grams. So moving from grams, again, we need to convert this to kilograms. How many kilograms will this be? We know that 1000 grams is equal to 1 kg. So if we did divide this by 1000, we are going to get 4000. We are going to get 4000 kgs. And from this, we can still convert it now. From 1000, we can comfortably convert this to a ton, whereby we know that 1000 kg is equal to 1 ton. What about 4000 kgs? We divide it by 1000, and this will be equal to 4 tons. This will be equal to 4 tons. So this basically means that our 4 billion milligrams are equivalent to 4 tons. 4 billion milligrams are equivalent to 4 tons. Can we also convert, number 3, we convert this other unit. This is 4 kilowatts to watts. 4 kilowatts to watts. Kilo means 1,000. So it means if we are talking about kilowatts, then we are talking about 1,000 watts. Kilo means 1,000. Kilo means 1,000 from the table of prefixes we had. So if we are talking about 4 kilowatts, then this basically means 4 times 1,000 watts. And this will give us 4,000. This will give us 4,000 watts. This will give us 4,000 watts. We can also convert, number 4. Let us also convert five nanoseconds to seconds. 5 nanoseconds to seconds. Let us convert 5 nanoseconds to seconds. Nano means 10 raised to power negative 9 from the table of prefixes. Make reference to that. You can refer to that table. And this means nano means 10 raised to power negative 9. So if we are talking about 5 nano, this means 5 times 10 raised to power negative 9. So these are seconds. This number can be written as a decimal number, but it is a very long number. So that is the reason why it is advisable to write it just the way it is. This is 5 times 10 raised to power negative 9 seconds. Another example is where we are required to convert 0.6 grams to micrograms. 0.6 grams to micrograms. This is the symbol. That is the symbol. So we need to know, what does this one mean? This means 10 raised to power negative 6. 10 raised to power negative 6 which is 1 millionth. This is 1 millionth. So if we are talking about converting 0.6 grams to this, we want to convert this number of grams to micrograms. So this means our 1 gram is equal to 10 raised power negative 6 micrograms. Or we can still say 10 raised power negative 6 micrograms are equal to 1 gram. This statement is still true. We are just swapping places. So for us to convert this to this, what about 0.6 grams? This will be equal to what? This should be equal to 0.6 grams multiplied by 10 raised power negative 6, that divided by 1 gram, where the units of mass will cancel. Then we'll have 0.6 times 10 raised power negative 6. Then this is a decimal number. This number alone is the same as 6.0 times 10 raised power negative 1 times 10 raised power negative 6, giving us 6.0 times 10. Remember the laws of indices, that if you are multiplying numbers with the same basis, you simply add the powers. So if you take negative 1 plus negative 6, it will give us negative 7. This is negative 7. Micrograms. So from this, we can realize that it is possible to convert from one unit to another, be it a unit of length or any other unit. We can be able to convert through these units. So for today, I want us to stop there, but before we do that, I want to give you an exercise that you can try during your revision in form of assignment to see whether you are able to convert through these units. Assignment. The first one, we are told, given the basic units of grams, given the basic units of grams, liters, meters, and seconds, write down the meaning of the following units. You write down of the following units. I don't want to read through them because if I read, I will have given you answers to the same. So I want you to read on your own, and then you write down the meaning in full. What does MM? double M mean in full, and this is NS. What does it mean in full? The second question is on actual conversion. Convert the following. Seven kg to grams. B, 7,000 meters to kilometers. One MT to T. This is capital M. .600 seconds to minute. $1,258 seconds to milliseconds. You are also supposed to convert 40 million micrometer to centimeters. You also convert 8 gigabytes to bytes. These are units of storage capacity in a computer. And lastly, you can also convert 3 million nanoseconds to seconds. So having gone through the conversion, this is not 3 million, but it is 3 billion. Convert 3 billion nanoseconds to seconds. So having gone through the different techniques of conversion and that flow chart where we say that if you are converting from a larger unit to a smaller unit, you perform multiplication by the various factors of 10 that we have seen. And if you are moving from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we need to divide by the various factors of 10 until we reach the largest units that we so desire. This marks the end of today's lesson. And in our next lesson, we will be looking at converting units of area. We will be looking at converting units of area, and we also look at how to convert the units of measurement in that lesson. A very interesting lesson, and I'm welcoming you to that lesson. Thank you and welcome.